Speaking of mega cap tech, you're also you're buying more Meta. So obviously we had some big news today when it comes to TikTok potentially getting banned on Sunday. Did you buy the Meta in anticipation of that decision, or was there some other reason?
No, we didn't, Frank, and we're not of the mindset that that's really going to happen. It would be a great catalyst for the Meta and some of these other companies if it does. But much longer term, we're talking about some of the Mag 7s that have lower valuations, cheaper companies, and as good as this stock has done, and it's amazing how well it's performed over the past 18 months, it's still relatively cheap. They're spending a lot of money on CapEx. You touched on this earlier, Brenda, but this is a stock that makes a lot of money. It's very diversified. They have another opportunity with advertising and YouTube that they haven't touched, really tapped into like Netflix. And lastly, their hardware is incredible. It's affordable. It works really well. And I think it's as good as anything that Apple puts out.
Brenda, you also own Meta. Do you think they're a beneficiary of either a TikTok ban or just the threat of a TikTok ban? So many people going on TikTok to use the TikTok shop and use what people call social commerce. Do you think Meta is just a beneficiary, just the threat of disruption leads to more buying of Meta?
Potentially. You know, the company definitely stands to benefit if there's suddenly we don't have access to TikTok anymore, because it's become such an important means of advertising and of social trends happening on TikTok. So certainly you could see that some of that pick up with Reels or Instagram. So I think there could be a potential benefit there. But I do think to Meta's benefit in general, even if there isn't a TikTok ban, it's just that the company has really been able to utilize AI and really push through great content to the users of the platform there that was welcome, even though it's advertising related. So they've done a tremendous job on that front.
You know, Brent, while we're talking mega cap tech, you have pretty broad ownership, Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, also owning the triple Qs. Some notes out about the triple Qs. I want to get your take on the triple Qs first, and then get your reaction to some of the notes out about moves in the triple Qs. Brent?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, sure. I think that, first of all, as we come out with earnings this quarter, I'm going to reiterate, I think there's going to be a lot of dispersion. When you look at Microsoft, which I think got an upgrade recently to over 500, you know, Microsoft is going to grow revenues at around 11%. So I don't think that Copilot, we've seen real adoption. I question that. We use Microsoft Enterprise, and I just think at $30, it's really expensive. That being said, on last quarter's call, they said that the cloud revenue was going to reaccelerate in the back half of the year. And so I think for that, Microsoft continues to get a bid and probably does well through this earnings if that reacceleration in Azure actually starts to come true, because that's the majority of their returns. And so I think that as you see Amazon, Microsoft, you're going to have strong numbers. I do question, as I said before, I just don't think Apple is going to be reflective of the performance of the other 6 names this year.
All right, what about the overall basket of the NASDAQ 100? Any thoughts they might be hitting an area of resistance? BTIG putting out a note believing that they may be hitting resistance at the level that they're at right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the NASDAQ, you know, the QQQs have been one of the best performing asset class over the last 20 years. So for me, it's a core holding. And I think that if you want to be defensive, you can buy JEPQ, which is the Qs and sells calls against it. And so I think, you know, they added Palantir, they added MicroStrategy inside of the NASDAQ 100. So I just think this is an exciting exciting ETF to own, because you get the best growth companies in the world in one simple low-cost ETF.